course, famous for breaking open the Watergate scandal, along with Carl Bernstein back in 1972. Woodward conducted 18 on-the-record interviews with the president between December and July of this year for his new book called Rage, coming out next week. Today, he released some of the audio recordings of those interviews, and they are just infuriating, both in what's said and also, I might add, that we're just learning about them now. Take a listen to what the president said on February 7th. Keep in mind, this is very early in the crisis here in the U.S. Hadn't really penetrated American consciousness. There was still hope it could be contained in China at that point. Even the WHO thought that might be possible. This is when we should have been building a testing regime and preparing for the onslaught. This is more than 2 weeks before Dr. Nancy Messonnier at the CDC famously warned us all to prepare our lives to be disrupted. Remember, she talked about remote schooling, and we all went, what? And her warning drew a heavy rebuke from Trump's White House. Listen to what Trump had to say 2 weeks before.
It goes through air, Bob. That's always tougher than the touch. You know, the touch, you don't have to touch things, right? But the air, you just breathe the air. That's how it's passed. And so that's a very tricky one. That's a very delicate one. It's also more deadly than your strenuous flus. This is more deadly. This is 5 per... this is 5% versus 1% and less than 1%, so this is deadly stuff.
It goes through the air, and it is more deadly than the flu. That's what the president was saying in private on February 7th. This is what he said in public to the American people the very same day.
I just spoke to President Xi last night, and, we're working on the problem, the virus. It's a very tough situation, but I think he's going to handle it. I think he's handled it really well. We're helping wherever we can.
Not a big deal. It's what he said the exact same day he told Bob Woodward the virus was airborne and deadlier than flu. Here's what the president said just a few weeks after that.
I asked the various doctors, I said, is this just like flu? Because people die from the flu. And this is very unusual. And it is a little bit different, but in some ways it's easier, and in some ways it's a little bit tougher. But we have it so well under control. I mean, we really have done a very good job.
The president had known for weeks at that point that the coronavirus was, according to the estimates that he was told, 5 times deadlier than the flu. Now listen to this next damning piece of evidence from his March 19th interview with Bob Woodward.
Now it's turning out it's not just old people, Bob, because today and yesterday some startling facts came out. It's not just older young people, to plenty of young people. I wanted to always play it down. I still like playing it down.
Yes,
because I don't want to create a panic.
Oh, Donald Trump never wants to create a panic about the Antifa super soldiers and MS-13 coming to your door to kill you. No, of course, he likes to calm people down. No, he knows it's not just old people. That's March 19th. It's young people, too. And he tells Bob Woodward that he likes to play it down. He'd spent months since telling us all, including the last few weeks, that young people don't have anything to worry about. Remember, March 19th, it's young people, too. But no, Donald Trump wants young people back out in the football field. Get the college players back out there. These statements, the president, it's like the flu, nothing to worry about. It's going to go away. They were lies. They weren't just mistakes. The president knew better and lied. Joe Biden summed it up pretty well this afternoon.
He lied to the American people. He knowingly and willingly lied about the threat it posed to the country for months. He had the information. He knew how dangerous it was. And while this deadly disease ripped through our nation, he failed to do his job on purpose. It was a life and death betrayal of the American people. It's beyond despicable. It's a dereliction of duty. It's a disgrace.
Failed to do his job on purpose. Pretty good bumper sticker. It's not just that Donald Trump's leadership has been absent here. I mean, this is the thing that is so remarkable. It's not just that he's been absent or that he's been incompetent or bumbling, right? I mean, that's what people said about Herbert Hoover. I mean, the president has been actively working against public health, against American safety and well-being. He has been on the side of the virus. He has been colluding with what he calls the invisible enemy. It would have been better if he took a long vacation starting in February and just spent the rest of the year golfing, as I suggested in March, or if he resigned, as I called for back in June. But instead, he has willfully taken action to lie to us, and through those lies, to get tens of thousands of Americans killed. Tens of thousands of Americans killed, and it's still happening. And there is no way around that conclusion, as awful as it is to say.